Hello Nitro fans, Racing 393. Now, part 2 of this Schumacher rebuild. The XLR sort of truggy, in this case you can see there, I'll just repeat myself here, that's a 3-speed. I have a 3-speed and a single speed, and I'm rebuilding the single speed for the time being. So in part 2, what can you expect to see? Well, a much edited down version of the rebuild. I'm going to try and keep things flowing, so it's not too strenuous on the retention. I'm trying to keep people interested in the video. So in the first video, it was basically a strip down. There's quite a lot that's right with the car. There's also a few bits and pieces which I do need to change. Now, in part 2, I was hoping at the point of making this intro, nevertheless, that I would have some bits. I'm not so sure that's going to be the case. I have ordered them. They are in stock, bar a couple. But the 2 bits that are not in stock, I sort of need them. But we'll see what happens. So in this video, what we're going to do is basically we're going to strip the shock absorbers down, just to sort of rebuild. They're kind of put together in a peculiar way. I don't think they're stock. I think they probably are stock, but I think there's some bits and pieces that are not done right. So I'll show you what they're like, and then I'll show you what my plans are, and then we'll sort of edit the nitty-gritty bit out, and then you'll see the shocks, or at least one of them, rebuilt, and then I'll do the rest off camera. We'll go from there. I'm trying to keep it fairly compact. The other thing to do today, I can't really rebuild any of the gearbox at this point, as I'm still waiting for some parts, namely like the belt. This is quite integral, so like almost the first thing in there. It doesn't have to be redone, but I've just literally bought some bits for it. Try not to sneeze. So I'd like to get them all in the gearbox and resealed, so I ain't got to touch it again. So anyway, so yeah, shock absorbers, a few other bits and pieces that I seem to find that might be of interest. There's going to be another part. I don't know whether we'll take the engine apart or not, because I don't know what that's like. It is the compression doesn't feel great in my opinion, but I won't know for sure until I get it apart. So it depends on how much content I can get for this part 2. Yeah, we'll go from there really. Yeah, let's get cracking. Welcome to part 2. Okay, shocks. I'm going to take these off, show you the shock. Probably take it apart. If I get any problems, I'll let you know, and rebuild it back up again. I haven't got any cleaning. I can't just chuck it in the water here. I've got no water in the shed, so I might have to go indoors. But let's take one of these shocks off. I mean, they do feel alright. They are plastic, but we've got some cable ties around the top. One of them is broken. I'm thinking it's because there's no collars, spacers. The back's got loads, the front hasn't got any. I have got spare spacers. With a sort of search in my bits that I've got, but anyway, let's take this off and we'll go from there. Okay, the shock's all took apart. It's alright, there's nothing wrong with it. Got like the standoff here with the, which is what the seat, what the spring goes onto. It doesn't seem to fit on there. It was broke, but won't go back on.
Either it was broke, or I've glued it back together and it doesn't need to be glued back together. Maybe it was split, but I don't know. I've taken some off another shock, like these are team associated, but they're too small. They don't go on there anyway. They're too tight. Maybe these spacers will go on, and you know, maybe they'll keep the spring in place. That's what I'm kind of hoping. They seem to fit okay. Anyway, let's go from there. So the first shock is done. Feels alright, actually, got to say. The ones on the car do feel a bit squidgy, but all I've put in there is, you know, Tamiya medium. That's all I've done. So yeah, that feels okay. So mission accomplished. I'm gonna do the other 3 now, and I'll be back once they're done. They're not going back on the car, but they're going to be prepped. So yeah, incidentally, this is the original shock that came off. I mean, it feels like it's not doing anything. Loads of spacers, cable tie, and then when you build it properly, a couple of spacers, no cable ties, same parts, smooth as silk. Need feeler vision really, but you have to trust me on that. But yeah, it's a little bit of maintenance goes a long way. Right, let me crack on. Final shock. As per thumbnail, crumpet in the shed with a T. That should get you going. Anyway, probably gonna just dismantle the rest of the chassis, so that's off in bits, and then we'll have a look at this. That's what you get for years of nitroing and not maintaining. Yuck, look at that. Right, let's get all this shit off here. Well, that was a mission, getting everything off the chassis. As expected, it is a bit, well, it's alright, it's in good condition, not bent. It is steel, so not aluminium, but some of these bolts were really rusted on there. But it's all completely off now. I'm not sure what to do with this yet. I don't know. It all depends on how far I go, if I can get all the other bits. I'm not sure. And this looks like it's enamel, or it's like, I don't know what you call that. Enamel paint. Well, it's powder coated, probably powder coated. It's probably not worth going down the avenue of getting it powder coated, but it could be an option, but I don't think I'll go quite that far. I need to make sure, before I get anywhere near that, I've got to make sure the engine is doable. In video time, it's not very long, this video, but in real time, it's taken ages to get this off. Ironically, running out of space in here where to put things. I suppose we might as well have a look at the engine. Anyway, we're going to now at least take some of the motor apart. You can see it hasn't got much of a compression. It has got a plug in it, so we'll take the, I'm not going to take it apart completely, but we'll take the fins off and have a look inside, and then we'll call the video there on my findings, and then we'll probably go, the next video is do this, as I'm still waiting for bits. So let's get the exhaust off with my special tool. That's that. This should come off now, the manifold, which it does. It's a very different type of exhaust seal. It's just like a ring. I can see inside. What does it look like? I mean, it looks like I expect it to look like. Okay, we'll probably take the plug out now once I find my plug spanner. That was nice and tight, so it doesn't bode well. So that's the plug, like I usually do. I wonder if the plug works. There's no washer on the plug, so now which one of these did I charge up? Can't remember now, if at all. So we've got the plug spanner, the glow driver, plug spanner. Shut up. Let's see if it glows. And yes. So the plug works. That's a good thing. Oh, it was a washer. Yeah, the washer was on the cooling head. So we got that there. Okay, so this has got like 6 sort of fixing points. Not sure the size, mine, but it's this one. Here we go. We don't know how tight they are. And they all undo, which is really, really good. I don't know if you ever watch other YouTube channels, but some of them, especially when it comes to Nitro, there's a couple, and they overdo things, or too much force and pressure. I don't get it. They are miniature motors, but you can still break them. Let's get all these loosened off. So all the screws are in there. It looks reasonably clean inside. Oh, I've got to show the camera, not the screen. There we go. Reasonably clean. Might be different here though. Not much pinch there at all. Not sure what to do about that yet. I could maybe try and re-pinch. That might work. And ironically, that's not tight in there at all either. It's got a notch on there, so I can bring that out. One of the easiest sleeves I've ever had to take out. Most of them are like welded in. Well, I think we'll probably call that there. I've got this. The next video we'll get this apart up further, and then we'll see for ourselves what that piston feels like when it's going through the sleeve. And I think it's going to be a little bit like worn, if I'm honest. Yeah, this is a force engine, so they're pretty common, to be honest with you. Pro 21R. R for rubbish. No, they're not. They're pretty good engines. Okay, so everything seems in good condition. So I think we'll leave it there. In the next video, we'll get the engine stripped the rest of the way, because I haven't got the bits for the car yet. So I don't know how long that's going to take. There's a couple of bits which are not in stock, obviously. But it doesn't say that on the website. We'll get this apart. We'll make an assumption. It has been run, because it's been run quite rich as well, because it's got a dark exhaust. So I'm not disputing the fact that it works. We'll see what we can do about that. Anyway, short-ish video into part 2, and then part 3 will follow in due course when we strip this down. Please like and subscribe, and hit the notifications bell for when the next one comes on. I will catch up with you very soon. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.